Enjoy my hairdo, it's coming off tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be able to see and all sorts. It takes such a weight off me. Right, okay. So, finding your way to whatever support you need today. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to work out how sitting comfortably works for you. So sometimes I have knees that don't feel comfortable in cross-leg position. I know some of your knees are not that comfortable today. So you could always sit on a chair. What I find helpful is that I have quite a bit of space between my ankles and the top of my legs, so that I'm actually almost sitting at the back of the mat, but my ankles are almost at the front. Now that won't be everybody's need or everybody's preference, but it's just giving some people a bit more options, particularly if the knees are a bit tight. Yeah. So just finding a position to start with and see how it feels to sit like this. So for some people, it might be kind of like, I'm hoping we're not going to be doing this very long, even before we start to kind of focus a little bit. Some of you will already feel that you're creating a rounded lower back or a rounded upper back, and you create a little bit of a slouch. So try and find your sitting bones, and to do that, we're just going to rock from side to side, and whatever you're sitting on might be rocking with you. So it's not like a sideways rocking chair. And just making sure that you are rocking on your bum, on your sitting bones, rather than just moving your shoulders from side to side. So the whole column goes to one side and the whole column goes to the other side. Relax anywhere that needs relaxing. I don't know what needs relaxing in your body, but for most of us, it's shoulders, it's jaw, somewhere around the cheeks or the eyes, to just soften the gaze a little bit. And I know that can be difficult with screens to soften the gaze. So sometimes just looking a little bit wider in the space you're in, outdoors, so you just change the focus for yourself, because most of the things we're doing, you don't need to necessarily see me. You can just be in your own space. Okay, and then be still again for a moment and see how you feel. So it might mean that you feel less comfortable or more comfortable. And what else could you do to support yourself? So it's on week one of 6. So for the Monday class, we're doing 3 weeks, taking a break for a week, and then doing another 3 weeks, just so clarifying in your own minds where we're up to. And we're trying to examine and explore this idea that we have power and we have energy that we can kind of pull in or discover or lean into or find when we need it. So being interested in that and just seeing whether that whole idea feels alien, that you might have this person with some form of power or able to access energy. It might not be there always when you want it, but you hopefully have some sense of that idea, that experience. Okay, so we're going to lengthen through the body, so we can just take our arms any way we like. We can sweep them up, or we can just find our way to extend our arms. So for most of us, that means there's different things going on here. So you might just, as you reach, you almost feel like your bum's going even more firmly into the ground rather than actually pulling your whole self up. So like your arms are going up and your bum's going down. So just notice if that's happening. Don't worry if it's not. And notice what's going on in your belly. Is your belly coming to support your lower back? So there's a little bit of tone in the belly and the lower back in this movement. So we're still thinking about soft breathing or breathing at some level. So if you need to lower the shoulders and widen the distance between the hands, then just see how that feels. You'll feel your side body. So we're already making some kind of contact between our power. Yeah, power of the side body, power of the belly, power of the uplift, power potentially of the breath to sit alongside us without getting too disturbed. Okay, and then just release the arms back down to rest, either on the floor or on the thighs. See how it feels now you come back down. So how does it feel sitting? Does that change the way you are sitting? Is it more comfortable, less comfortable? Okay, feeling the sitting bones on whatever's supporting you. So we're going to take the arms now just into a cactus arms position. And if you want your elbows lower than your shoulders because that feels better for the shoulders, that's fine. If you feel like you want to take the elbows in line with the shoulders and see what that feels like, then that's fine. You choose how that feels. And taking the support from the belly, so just checking that that belly is already supporting you, so bringing it in a tad. Have a sense of length through the spine and just see how it feels to rotate slightly. Yeah, so I'm just thinking of rib cage, doing a little bit of a movement from side to side, a little bit of a rotation, just being blown in the wind kind of idea. Keeping the length through the crown of the head so I'm not collapsing as I do that. Okay, and again, just let's relax the elbows, relax the shoulders, that's quite strong. And we'll take a few breaks, so we'll take a break here, so just undoing the legs and extending them in front of you to just, and it's fine to just allow the belly to the lower back to round and the upper back to round for a moment. And just move the feet from side to side, just to relax and open the joints a little bit around the knees. Feel like you've lost the blood going through your joints or the fluid going through your joints or just feeling sticky. And having a little bit of respite. And then when you're ready, finding that supportive position again. So just being careful where you reconnect the ankles together or the legs together, that you don't bring them too close if that's not going to be suitable for your knees. Take as many breaks as you need to during this early part of the class with the legs cross-legged. Okay, so we're going to take, hopefully it works for you, I've got long arms. So I'm just going to take, I'm on the fingertips and just at the side of my body, yeah, whether it's just level with the hips or behind the hips, you just find where you find some support here. And what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to push through our fingers, and it's going to be as if we're going to lift ourselves off our chair, off our seat, off our support. But probably we won't be lifted at all. We'll probably still have a bum just slightly resting, but there's an upward lift. So when you're ready, take a breath in here. And take a breath out and just press through the fingers and lift yourself up a little way. Try and keep the shoulders back, so shoulder blades together. Notice what's going on in the belly. It's not very kind on the fingertips, I know. And then relax yourself back down onto your seat. So you would have noticed much more of an uplift. You would have probably noticed again that connection between the power in the belly, maybe, or you just might have been hanging on for grim life and hoping you could come off your fingertips. So, we'll all experience that differently. So sometimes again, when that may create strain in the shoulders initially, but now you've kind of released that, the shoulders really release and let go. Okay, so if you dare, I'm going to try it again. And it might be you bring the fingertips a little bit closer into the body. So the closer they're into the body, the more you're likely to get an uplift. But if you really don't want to, that's also fine. So take a breath in and a breath out to lift. So you might get your bum off the support potentially if you're closer in. Keep the length of the spine as long as you can, so crown of the head lifting. And just feel the support, the strength, and relax down. And taking off my seat then. And just maybe just give a little bit of a shake out of the fingers that might feel like they've been put under pressure. Maybe the wrists for some of you as well. So just a shake out of the fingers, yeah. Okay, brilliant. And then just relax the hands. See how you feel that you're sitting now, whether that's, again, each time, whether this gives you more of a sense of feeling supported in your seat, or whether you're fine from the beginning, or whether it's making no difference, or whether your lower back is beginning to feel uncomfortable at all. So like we move from side to side, we're moving backwards and forwards now. So we're just kind of coming forward and back. We're trying to come from the sitting bones. So we're rocking on the sitting bones forward and back. So we might go beyond our sitting point or just to our neutral, and we slightly rock forward. Again, unless that's creating tension on the knee joints. It's just a back and a forward, back and a forward. Yeah, come out of it if the knees are uncomfortable, or just release one leg, one knee's being the dodgy knee, and you can lengthen out with one leg and keep the other one in place. This one's a little stronger sometimes for the knees. Okay, and back to sitting. Relaxing the thighs, inner thighs as much as you can. So whether your knees are quite high or whether they're low, just relaxing the knees. So we're going to go through some nostril breathing. So if you're really comfortable here, just find a seat or stand up, yeah, or extend the legs in front of you. But otherwise, I'm going to stay as I am. So we'll do the kind of straightforward version, at least to start off with. So we're going to use our thumb to close down one nostril, effectively. And we're just going to breathe through our nose, that we've got nostril that we've got spare and open, and we're keeping our mouth closed. So just see how that goes. It might be a deeper breath, it might not be. Doing your best to relax the jaw, relax the eyes, relax the cheek, relax the shoulders. So you don't need to press the thumb really hard into the closed nostril, it can just rest there. You still have a sense of the spine feeling long if possible, and the sitting bones really be centered into support. So a couple more on this first side. And feeling the energy, particularly on the in-breath, giving you a kind of uplift, a kind of sense of support or power there. So after the next out breath, just release the nostril and have a nostril-free moment. So you've got both nostrils available. You've got that space now inside, but both, possibly feels like both nostrils, it might only feel one side, and all in that nasal cavity, feeling the space that you've generated. Got itchy nose now, itchy nose. And yeah, just see how it feels afterwards. So again, how's the sitting, how's the shoulders, how's any tension in the body? Is it being released? How does the breath feel? Does it feel stronger? Does it feel more available to you? Does it feel more spacious? Does it feel more powerful, more available? And that might not be the case. It might be kind of slightly bunged up on one side, or you overbreathed, or you got too tense, so it wasn't a good experience. So just know your experience and then just try and tweak it if you need to tweak it to give less effort, more effort, slightly change it. So we're going to close down the opposite nostril, so whichever one you're on. So thumb, just create a little bit of pressure without really needing to do very much. And mouth closed if you can manage that. And then just breathing through the second nostril, second side. Particularly enjoying that in-breath. So the in-breath will give you some energy. And the out-breath will give a sense of release, but not collapse. So it's quite a balancing, calming type of breathing. Yes, you might not feel it for you this time, but it can be. So this one plus a couple more. Lengthening or deepening the breath if it feels comfortable, so no force. And when you finish your next out breath, release, relax the shoulders, and again, just really feel now the sense of release, sense of space for the nostrils. Right, suddenly feel you've got nostrils and you can breathe through them, and you've got some space. If you need to blow your nose, obviously tend to that. See how that feels. So when you were doing that, you may have not even been aware that you were sitting, or that you were aware you were sitting in a particular way. It may have given you some support through that breathing approach. to have a sense of feeling more comfortable, or maybe you're just too uncomfortable to settle. So we'll just, again, bring the knees up if you have got your legs crossed, and have the feet on the floor, and just allow your back to round. Let your chin just come to your chest for a moment. Relax the shoulders and just relax anywhere that's a bit tense. So relax the belly for a moment. Relax the thighs. So again, you can just have a soft breath, or you can choose to deepen it, or deepen the out breath if you want to. Just see where you're going with this. Wonderful. So if you can cope with one more sitting with the legs crossed to do one more exercise, then do, or find a new position for yourself. Yeah. So we're trying this pumping breath from the belly. And there's different ways of doing that you can do it through your mouth with a kind of shoe, or kind of shoe sound. I'll show you in a minute, or you'll hear it in a minute. If you've just eaten or you feel full, it won't be pleasant. So just leave it out. Either do the nostril breathing again, or just do a calmer breath. Yeah. So basically, I'm going to take a finger or fingers to my navel so that I can actually feel this kind of pumping feeling going on in my belly. So I'll start it off and see whether you want to have a go or not. So I'm breathing in. Weird, isn't it? Okay, and you paid for this. Anyway, okay, so what that tends to do is it really energizes the body, it really creates a power within that kind of area of the center of the body for most people. If it feels like you're hyperventilating, clearly that isn't working for you. If it feels like the belly is really uncomfortable because it's a bit full, then it's not going to be pleasant, it's not going to work. You need ideally an empty belly, or a reasonably empty belly, to do that. You can do it without doing the shoe. You can do it more through a nostril breath. Yeah, so it feels like a bit more like a sniff. So if you want to do that, you can do that. If you want to take a break, take a break. If you want to do something different, do something different, that's fine. So if you want to try, then we'll have a try now. So taking the hands, the finger or fingers to the belly, get a sense of in-breath and length through the spine. And then 5 little shoe breaths, or sort of quick in-breath, out-breaths. That's probably more than 5 once I get going. I just have to run with it. Okay, and relax. So I'll just do it one more time, if you want to do it one more time, just to try it out. Okay, so if you're going to have a try, then just get yourself ready, support it, take a breath in, and then pump breaths. And release. Let the belly swell, let the belly just be natural. And just see how you feel, apart from weird, if you've done it. And we're going to come out of this, and we're going to be lying on our back, but we'll be using the pump action later as a choice to give a little bit more power and focus. So let's extend the legs out before we go down. And like a pump action, but with the knees, so you can just let the calves just bounce up and down off the floor. So you just get your legs going a little bit more. You can sit back, and you can round your back if you want to. You can windscreen wipe a little bit. You can take an out breath if you want to. Okay, and come off your support, so you can get rid of your support, and you can come onto your back. Yeah, coming onto your back with your feet. Actually, for initially, just briefly, just take your legs extended, because your legs might just want a bit of a break from what we've just been doing. So just coming onto your back for a moment and just landing. We will be bringing our feet to the floor fairly soon, but if you're comfortable with the whole of the body lying down, just seeing how you feel. See how the breath is in the body. See how you feel connected to the centre of your body. So around the navel area, deep inside. Let the belly be soft though, because we're going to be doing quite a lot of work with the belly being active. So when we have a pause, it's good to pause and allow the belly to just expand. So feel a sense of the whole body lying on the floor, where it's touching the floor, where it's weighted down, where it's light, how does the shoulder feel, how the back of the head feel. So 3 breaths here, whether they're natural breaths or deeper out breaths through the mouth. And when you're ready, we're just going to bring the feet to the floor with the knees bent. Yeah, feet to the floor with the knees bent. Yeah, so feet are now on the floor with the knees bent. And bring the feet fairly close to your butt, fairly close. The feet are hip distance though, yeah, so the feet are fairly close to the sitting bones, if you like. So just, you're not taking the bottom off the floor, but just press down through the feet as if you're going to lift yourself. So it's a bit like we were lifting ourselves with our fingers, now we're lifting ourselves with our feet. And we're just getting a sense now of not just the belly being active, but a sense of the legs being active from that pressure through the feet. So hopefully you can feel something going on. Maybe a lot going on. It might be the hamstrings, it might be the inner thighs, it might be the outer thighs. Might be the calves, it might be the whole of the leg, and then relax the legs. So the legs aren't working, the butt's not working, the belly's not working. Just back down. Brilliant. Okay, so taking the arms into into robot arms. So the elbows are bent, the upper arms on the floor. So close enough to the body that you're supported, but not so close that you feel restricted. You can make the hands alive. So you've got some power, not just really in the upper arms, but also in the lower arms. Press down through the feet like we were before. Press down through the arms, and this time pick the pelvis off the floor and come up into your first bridge to wherever you feel comfortably coming up to. But I am going to encourage you to come reasonably high during these if you can. And release the back down. And just rest after your first one, see how that went. If you need to bring your knees into your chest between each one, please do. But otherwise, engage the feet again. Engage the arms as if you're going to go up, but don't go up. And then lift the pelvis so everything's reasonably strong. And the second time, if you can get a sense of the chin being close to the chest and the chest being close to the chin, with the support of the feet, support of the arms, don't let the knees drift away. So any discomfort in the lower back, bring the belly in and feel like you're extending the knees away from you. It will be breath, but it'll feel a little bit more hard to access. And then soften in the upper back, the mid back, the lower back as you return back to the ground. So that's a strong, fairly strong movement. So if you need to bring the knees into the chest, please do. And just let the belly be soft for a moment. And then we're going to go up for a third time. So pressing down through the arms, pressing through the feet before you lift up the pelvis, going up to what feels like a fairly strong back bend. So that means upper back, not lower back. Lower back should feel lengthened, knees going away from you. Feet are strong, big toes down, little toes down. Knees aren't drifting away, chin's towards the chest. You're breathing, but you're feeling strong, feeling supported by your arms and your legs, but you've got the whole spine and the whole body working and operating and supporting you Well done. Slowly releasing, release, 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 release. And have a shake out. So I mean, lengthening just there. Arms and the legs, just have a little bit of shake out. Let the breath shake out as well, or vibrate. Okay. The calves really loosen. And let the joints loosen in the toes, fingers, and the ankles and the wrists. And then feet back down. And have your arms wherever you're comfortable. This time don't need to create strong arms for a moment. And just let the knees drift slightly from side to side. Yeah, so knees are drifting slightly from side to side. Okay. And then back into center. If you've got the space, or you can adjust, take your arms out more at shoulder level. Yeah, I'm a bit tight for me to do that. I know, up to you whether you have your palms up or palms down. I've got my palms up, so my shoulders are a bit more open. Take the feet off the floor. Yeah, so the feet are off the floor, but you can let the lower legs be relaxed. And now take the knees over to one side, back, and over to the other side. So you're rocking on the pelvis effectively here. Side to side. You've got support from your arms. Your shoulders are staying down. Okay. Now we're going to change this. So we're going to make this a little bit stronger. So if you now take the heels slightly up, so it's more like that you're sitting on a chair, 90-degree angle. So that starts to get everything operating a little bit more strongly. Feel the belly operating here. Now taking the legs over as far as you can towards the floor without touching the floor. It's much harder because you'll get a break. So you go as far as you can on one side. Both shoulders are down, yeah. Use your breath, out breath, to get yourself back up into neutral. Strong on hips and all sorts of areas. Yeah. And then see if you can get to the other side. I might bump into the radiator, hopefully not. Just missing it. Okay, keeping the shoulder down. Breathe out, get the belly to get yourself back up. Okay, so if you can manage to do one more each side, do one more each side. So it's really slow, you're not dropping yourself. You're controlling the movement over really slowly to wherever you get to. Trying to keep the shoulders down. Your belly will be active for the whole thing. Out breath might help you get back up into center. Well done, and over to the second side, to wherever you land. You don't land, wherever you hover. The knees stay at hip distance apart. Now you get yourself back up. Well done, well done, well done. Let's bring the feet down. Let's extend the legs. Let's bring the arms into a more comfortable position for a moment. And see how you are. See what's feeling powerful. So we continue to work with the belly really here from start to finish, but we've now done a lot more work with the legs. And moving the legs means the center needs to support you. So just finding this, really being familiar with the body, how it supports you, where maybe you feel it lets you down just slightly, and whether you can start to just through that awareness, just bring a little bit more presence to it. To let the legs relax, let the toes relax, let the palms relax, the fingers relax, the belly relax now. So between times, we just need to be able to switch things off, recover. So for some people, that'd be very strong. To be honest, if you're doing it right, it should be strong. Okay. So we're going to go back to that pump action again. If you want to use it, you don't have to. So initially bringing the feet on the floor with the knees bent. And take the feet off the floor and maybe taking the feet a little bit higher now so the heels are even above the 90-degree angle. See if you've got your lower back down, try and get your lower back down, even if that means bringing your knees closer to your chest. So your lower back's down, supporting you. reach your arms up more as if you're taking them towards your feet, and they're reaching as if they're, you know, this beach ball idea is if you're holding a beach ball in your hands or something between your hands. Okay, and we're going to then lift ourselves up. Yeah, so just lift yourself up. So that means the upper back is off the floor, and you're just kind of taking that beach ball towards your feet, and then you lower yourself back down with control. Take a breath in here, out breath, come up. And relax down. Yeah, so if you keep your legs there, keep your legs there. Keep your lower back down if you can. Okay, one more time for a rest. So breathe in here, breathe out. Might get further up, you might not. And gently, gently, gently control, lower yourself down, bring the feet back to the floor, extend the legs away, extend the legs away, extend the arms away from the body just a little way so you can relax. And switch everything off. So let the belly be soft, let the hands be soft, let the feet be soft, let the thighs be soft. And a little bit of recovery. Okay. So there's an option. You can do the same as we've just done, which is effectively in breath and out breath, and that extension reach up on the out breath. Or you can do more of the pumping action as you keep that extension, keeping the upper back off the floor. So when you're ready, you choose, or just have a rest, that's fine. So feet off the floor, lower back down, extend through the arms, take an in breath, out breath. And relax. And let the legs extend. So for those of you who are trying the kind of pumping, more stronger breath, just be interested how that felt. Yeah, so the focus changes completely often when we're doing kind of both noisier and stronger breath work. It changes the whole way the body's kind of operating, where the focus is, where the tension is, where the power comes from. So it takes away a little bit, potentially away from what may have felt like a very physical body movement to a little bit more like an inner resource, a different kind of sense of support or energy or power. Don't worry if it wasn't for you or it didn't work. It takes a while to do these sort of things or to try them out. There's different ways of doing it. You might have learned a different way or find a different way through to get yourself support. So as you lie here with things switched off, yeah, so the palms, the feet, the legs, the thighs, the belly, the face, the jaw, the eyes now relaxing. What is often interesting after you've done something that might feel quite strong, if you're doing that and it felt strong for you, is afterwards, although you're relaxed, there's a whole different tone to the body. There's a power tone or a sense of strength in the body somewhere. I know it could have gone over into feeling achy or tired, so there's always that potential. But just notice, and again, the breath might feel more powerful in the body, even though it's just doing its own thing now. There might be changes in the pelvis. You might find you're getting more of an arch in the lower back and then a flat in the lower back, just naturally, so that you've kind of unlocked around the center of the pelvis. That's an area you get really locked in. So you may have found that that's changed. You might not be aware of it, you might be aware of it. So just taking a few more breaths here. Just want to check if I want to do any more here. Okay. So it's coming up to around 40 minutes. We're slightly under at the moment. So for the people who are just here for 40 minutes, you might think we haven't done very much, but I hope you've had something out of it, out of the 40 minutes. So my suggestion is that you stay here for another 6 breaths and then bring your knees to your chest, maybe just have a shake out, and then if you leave the room, it seems a bit weird saying this, so I'm just seeing how this goes, how it feels, and there'll just be a few of us left. So just lying here for another minute or so. So we're all having a pause, whether we're staying or going. And we're just getting back into our sense of power, back into our sense of support, back into our sense of the breath in the body. In fact, we can change that, adapt that, change the way we feel, change the way we find our strength, play around with different ways. Okay, so having a shake out. So arms, legs, arms, legs. So the 40-minute tape will have more on it because I've gone slower. Yeah, sometimes I do in real life. So we will have more on the 40-minute recording, which I'll send you later. And for those on the 75-minute one, then I'm hoping we can use this recording to do that. So let's all of us roll over to one side, and those of you who are leaving, thank you for coming, and I'll see you next week. And there'll be just a few of us left this week. Thank you for joining. Any questions, obviously let me know. If you want to stay, that's fine as well. I'm not going to cut anybody off. Okay, so just give people a moment or two. If you need a drink, then have a drink. We're going to be on hands and knees, so you don't need to move your device. Okay. Okay, so part 2. So we're onto our hands and knees in our usual sort of tabletop position. Sorry, I must let you have a drink when I say take a drink, and then I say go on all fours. So just don't feel rushed. There's only a few of us here. Okay. So see how you feel on hands and knees. So if some of that strength worked for you, and what I mean by that is you found some strength or energy or different sense of support, then that will carry itself through different movements and different positions in relationship to the ground. So see how you feel in your inner arms and your outer arms. How you feel in your inner thighs and your outer thighs. How you feel in your butt. So we were working glutes as well as working the belly. So you feel in the side body as well. Okay, so just allowing yourself to move forward and back a little bit, yeah? So you're just rocking forward and back, so your bum goes back a bit and then you come forward, your bum goes back a bit and you come forward. And then just back to stillness for a moment. And then just to create a little bit of a side bend, just creep your hands round to one side as if your hands are heading towards your feet. And just feel the length down one side of the body and shortening down the other side. And then gently pad your hands back to centre. To move around a little bit so I can get round. And then pad your way back round to the other side. So this is tighter side for me. I find it more difficult to go to my second side. And come back to your neutral stance again. Just come onto your wrists for a moment. Sorry, onto your knuckles for a moment to relieve the wrists. Come onto fingertips for a moment, just to get a different sense of connection. And then come back onto your hands. Tuck the toes under Press down through the hands slightly and lift the knees off the floor. Yeah, better with socks off at this point. So we're going up into downward dog and doing a few things there in a moment. So just the hover. Now the hover might feel easier, might not do. Come back down on your knees and relax the shoulders. Take a breath in, full breath in and a full breath out. Okay, we're going to try the pumping action. If you like, if you don't like it, please just leave it out. If you don't feel like you know what you're doing, you're not comfortable with it, please leave it out. So pressing through the hands, take the knees off the floor and just try a little bit of the pumping action breath. And bring the knees back to the floor. Just take a break, untuck the toes, you take your knees a little bit wider, wide the mat, big toes together and just come back into child's pose for a moment, whether your arms are forward or back. And if you're not comfortable in child's pose, then just come onto your back and bring your knees in. If you don't like your knees wide, then bring your knees closer together. That's fine. And just rest down for a moment. So, you know, obviously we can't breathe like that pumping action all the time. And certainly want lots of breaks if we're doing that kind of work. To just let the breath and the body get back to normal. But it's surprising with just a short amount of those extra breaths, how a greater sense of support can come either in the movement or after the movement. So a couple more breaths here. And then in breath, back up to all fours, get the knees hip distance, take the hands slightly further forward. So I will just show you briefly, we're going to go up into downward dog, but we're going to be stepping forward with one of our feet into lunge, which we don't do that often this way. So just having a little bit of a look. So I'm going backwards and forwards as we often do, just to get a little bit more space and a little bit more rhythm. And then I'm taking the knees up and I'll just see how I am on arrival. And then we'll be bringing the knee in towards the chest and then taking it back. So I'm keeping my foot on the floor, knee bent, so I can still give a lot of length of the spine. And I'm bringing the knee forward towards the nose or towards the chin a bit. And then I'm going to come up onto the finger tips to have enough space to step forward. Yeah. So some of you will find that easy, some of you won't get very close. So if you've done it with me, that's fine. Just release back and come onto your knees. If you haven't done it with me, we're going to all do it together anyway. So if you don't get there, you don't get there. Don't make it the prize. Just see how you get the support that you need. So back and forth a few times, making sure, as I say, your hands are a little bit further forward than your shoulders here. And when you've got that feeling of kind of floating forward and back, just being soft in that movement, then going back, taking the knees off the floor and taking the butt, sitting bones up, keeping the knees as bent as you wish to, so you get that long spine. Belly is in, sitting bones are up, hip creases are up. Breathe here. A bit more deeply if you're comfortable. Then bringing your left knee in towards the chest and behind you, in towards the chest, and more like teddy towards your chin and behind you, in towards your chest, towards you and behind you. Come up onto the fingertips of the left hand and this time swing the leg all the way through. Just do your best. Yeah, swinging that leg through now. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, I know you can feel like you're falling and just collapsing into that. Okay, and then releasing that front leg and back into downward facing dog. And then we'll do the other side. Yeah.
if you can manage, you need a break, take a break. So knee comes in to the chest and then goes behind you as you bend your knee with the foot on the floor. So that'll be the left knee bend. So just taking that back a few times and bringing the knee in towards you. So next time, coming on to the fingertips, so just to get a little bit more space, and just bringing the knee forward and allowing the foot to then land. Well done. Brilliant. Well done. But don't worry if you don't get there, but be pleased if you do. It's not an easy thing to do. So we're going to release again. And we're going to go up, and then we're going to come back down and come onto our knees and go back into child's pose for a break. If you're comfortable, or onto your back if you're not. So you choose whether you have your knees wide or not. It's quite nice to have that change with the belly sitting between the thighs a little bit more. But for some people that's not comfortable, so finding your way of relaxing a little bit through to give the lower back a rest, to give the joints a rest. So if it's not good for the knees, you come onto your back. Important to find the ways that support us. Okay, so in a minute we're going to do the similar, but we're going to do the same in terms of stepping forward, but then we're going to bring the back knee down on each side, taking it in turns obviously, and we'll do a little bit of just gentle twisting from that position. So take another in breath here, another out breath, and on your in breath coming up onto all fours. Get your knees hip distance apart, your toes tucked under, your hands further forward than your shoulders. Rocking forward and back, rocking forward and back, rocking forward and back. And when you're ready, knees off the floor, bum to the sky, push back, really lengthen through your spine. You can move your butt from side to side, wagging the tail dog. See how that feels. Get the length and the movement in the hips and the pelvis. Bring your left knee in and behind you. Let's say 3 times. Yeah. And then on the 4th, make sure you come onto your fingertips to just create maximum space to step forward. Well done, well done, well done. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Lower the back knee now, so that'll be your right knee comes down. And take the fingers off the floor and just come up to see if you can be stable here. So it's up to you whether you keep the toes tucked under or whether you untuck the toes. Feel the sense of support through the belly here. See how that's going. Lengthen the arms up for a moment so you get that greater length through the side body. And that, as we did at the beginning, you get that sense of support through the belly, that lengthening. The front foot is strongly connected to the earth. Okay, and then just bring the elbows down to hands up position, yeah? So we're just into cactus arms. And keeping that front foot strong so that we have some stability there. Just blowing the wind like we did so we're just doing a small rotation. We'll get a rotation one way easier probably than the other. So just go within your limits, keeping the belly supporting you, keeping the length through the spine for the whole of the movement if you can. Brilliant, well done. And then keep belly in, take the fingertips to the floor. Well done. So we're going to step back again, yeah? So tuck your back toes under if they're not under. Lift the back knee off the floor, bring the palms down, go forward in order to release that front leg to the back leg. Have a little bit of walking out the backs of the legs, see how the calves are doing, see how it feels in the back legs to have movement, whether it feels tight or easy, what the rhythm of the movement feels like. And we're going to do the opposite leg. So when you're ready, bringing the right knee into the chest and then taking the knee behind you. Yeah, so 3 times. And then you don't have to, but I find it easy to come onto my fingertips to step forward. It's like the knee comes forward and then you just have a little bit more movement of the foot to land on the floor. You're doing all really well. Take the back knee down. You choose whether you're untucking or keeping the toe tucked, back toes up tucked under. Come up so that you make sure you have the support you need through that front leg and through that front foot, and that you're not on a tight rope too much. If you need to move the front foot over to the little toe side, please do. Feel the support in the centre. Extend the arms again. Feel the length down the side body. Feel the support and the strength in the centre body. Feel that extension. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. And then arms into cactus arms again. Relax the shoulders down. And just allow a little bit of movement, keeping the front foot strong so that front knee doesn't go anywhere, keeps you stable. So there'll be a limited movement here. The upper body can do quite a bit of movement, the lower body won't be able to do very much at all. Belly support will stop the issue with the lower back. Brilliant. Lower the fingers back to the floor. Tuck the back toes under if they're not tucked under. Go down, palms down to come, release that front leg to the back. Again, a little bit of a walk out, feel the length through the whole of the spine. So if things are going really well, you'll feel lightness after doing all this work, yeah? That's why it pays off. It can become a time you think, oh, how's that happen? Everything feels a little bit softer, a bit lighter. The heaviness is a different sort, there's a weight, but there's a lightness to it at the same time. Okay. So we're going to come to standing. So just either walking the feet to the hands or the hands to the feet, or a little bit of both, to come to just allow the top body to remain over the bottom body for a moment. So it's just letting the whole of the spine just flow over the lower body. So you can let the arms feel relaxed and long, the chin can come to the chest, and the crown of the head just relaxes so the neck gets released here. Knees as bent as you want them. Knees as bent as you want them. So you can really relax top body over bottom body. And then just squat slightly, push off with the feet and extend yourself to standing. And extend the arms up. I know you can see half my body. So I will adjust. So bringing the arms down when you're ready. And if you need to move your laptop or your device to a better spot, then do. Better, i.e. that you can see what's going on. I'm going to get another little drink. The only thing about this breathing business is sometimes it dries the mouth a little bit more. Hi there. Okay. So, you know, these are all experiments. Some things work for some people and some things don't. So you might not feel strong. You might feel really tired. You might feel like, oh gosh, that was hard work. Yeah, you might have really struggled to get the front foot to the front of the mat. You might have found it got easier. You might have found sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Maybe the right side worked, but the left side didn't. So this is just experiments and learning how the body's feeling. So now we're in standing. How's it going? Yeah. So feet broadly hip distance apart. So we've got that alignment sense between the ankles, the knees and the hips and the shoulders. Let the shoulders be relaxed. Still have a sense of length though. So the length can be quite a subtle feeling. Like, you know, we're not dragging ourselves up, but there is a sense of lightness through the spine. The shoulders can relax around that. We can let the breath be. And we can really feel the earth beneath our feet. If you want to take one hand to the belly for a moment and one hand to the chest, then see how things are going. So see how it feels, how the breath feels in the body for a moment. As we pause a little. So 3 more breaths just to kind of pause, land, arrive on our feet again. Might feel taller, might feel lighter, might not really be clear how we're feeling in the moment. Okay, and relax the arms away, have a little bit of a shake out, bounce, maybe shake a leg, maybe shake another leg, just to loosen, shake off any tension, mix things up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do kind of the cat-cow standing version, so feet hip distance, if not slightly wider. It's like a little bit of a squat, so you're bending your knees slightly here. Yeah, we take our arms up. So it's not quite the same as cactus arms. My elbows are lower, slightly lower. I've got my hands in a soft fist, so they're gentle, yeah, hands. And then I feel like I'm opening, the shoulders are going away, the shoulder blades are coming together, elbows are going back and down, chest is opening as I look up. So there's an extension through my lower back, and there's a greater lengthening, arching in my upper back. And then I'm bringing my elbows together and rounding my back and bringing my belly in and my elbows in towards my belly, my chin in towards my chest. And then I'm just going betwixt and between. So in breath to open up. So shoulders go back and down, chest opens. Elbows come in, back really rounds, belly goes in to give you that extra support to round. You keep the bend in the knee, it doesn't need to be a huge bend, but you don't straighten your legs if you can help it. So there's very little change in the leg movement as you move betwixt and between. You might like just the movement, or you might want the breath to support the movement. So no surprises, it's the in-breath as we open up towards the sky, create a bit more space for the chest to open and the shoulders to relax down, and it's an out breath as the belly comes in and the back rounds. It's fine for the tail to tuck under, yeah, to feel that sense. I know it's an out-of-date saying, but that sense of really allowing the pelvis to change its position through this rounding and extension. So a couple more on your own time. Really enjoying the opening that you can find, hopefully, and the changes in the movement in the spine. To just really engage the energy through the spine. Okay, and relax the arms. Okay, so bring the feet more together. So I'm thinking like fist distance apart. Yeah, probably fist distance apart. And we're going to do a little bit of balance work here. So let's see how our feet feel in terms of connection to the floor. So we might feel really, really strong here. The legs might feel strong. We might feel that uplift through the spine. We might feel the breath really available, or none of the above. So just initially, just peeling the heels. That means just coming onto the ball of one foot and just allowing the weight to go onto standing leg. And that standing leg, that support leg, just ensure that you're not pushing back into your knee, that you've actually got a slight softness in the knee so that the muscular support's happening rather than it's just joint support. And then as you give more weight to that standing leg, whichever the leg is, just lift the foot off the floor so the foot goes behind you and you see what your balance is like. Try it with the hands together near the chest, that might help or not. You choose how much you have your hands pressing against each other, so they might be lightly touching, there might be a little bit more support. So what you're looking for is a lightness in the spine. So lengthening, and you're looking to be able to breathe, and you're going to be kind of wobbling on the balls of your feet to keep reconnecting with what's going to support you. You're looking out, or you're looking forward, or you're looking to a place that you feel that you can give your attention to and your focus to. And then release that leg down if you're still on one leg. That we're strong for the standing leg. We stayed quite a long time. Release the arms. Have a shake out. So usually when you do strength work and you're more in your body, usually, can't guarantee, it depends on all sorts of other imbalances, then the balance becomes easier. Yeah, the balance might become easier. And, you know, after we can just about balance, but we're really kind of hanging in there, when it's a real balance, if you like, there isn't as much of, there just isn't that kind of strain within it. You just sort of, you're just able to be there in a much softer way so that you can extend through the spine, you can feel the lightness, you can feel the breath. Let's do the second side. So feet about feet about fist distance apart. Feel the connection with both feet now, see how that feels. Lovely. Hopefully it feels lovely. Making sure that your big toe and your little toes are down and just behind the mound of the big toe feels really connected and the mound of the sort of little toe feels connected and the heel. Okay, so it's going to be opposite leg. So initially just coming onto the ball of the foot. So you just get a little bit of a change in weight. You just get a little bit more for the supporting leg to feel like, okay, I'm being asked to do a little bit more work, and that you know that you're not actually creating tension by forcing the back of the knee beyond its position. It's going to support the leg. So a soft at the back of the knee. Feel balance now, feel length, feel the breath, and then lift when you're ready, peeling that heel so the foot just goes behind you, and the knees are broadly in line, the thighs are broadly in line, and you have the lift and length through the upper body. It's a light lift, and the hands come together if you choose to give you a little bit more. It feels for a lot of people just a little bit more stable, a little bit more connected, a little bit more able to lift the front of the sternum without overdoing that. So there can be a softness here, can be a timelessness in balance, as well as a get me out of here feeling. You know that all you have to do is put your foot down if you need to, but if you can use the support that we've been gathering in through the session. So sometimes the power is about being still. It's not always about being strong in movement. It's about being stable and centered. And foot down if your foot isn't already down. You're looking very centered, everybody. Well done. And relax the arms. And again, a bit of shake out. Let the breath be free. Yay. Okay, so let's take the feet fairly wide, your shoulder distance if not wider, and it's kind of like you're bending, you're sitting down slightly, so it's almost a squat. You feel like you're going to sit down, but you don't. Okay, and just lift the arms, float, let the arms float up towards the sky. And then bring them back down, just floating back down. And this time, you're hinging from the hips, you're bending the knees a little bit more, and you're taking your hands as if you're lifting up or dipping your hands in water. You're bringing that up through the center body, and then the water just drips over the head. And the arms float back down as you bend the knees, relax, hinge forward slightly, deepen squat slightly. Find the water, and there's a whole set of control and resistance going on as you do this movement. There's a visualization of the water kind of image is useful. There's a slowness, there's a control, there's a strength, there's a power, there's a softness, there's a flow in the movement. So the breath can do what the breath wants to do. If you feel like you want to do the movement with the breath really, really clearly, then as usual, mostly as usual, it will be an in-breath when you come up and an out-breath release as you bring the arms down. So let's say 4 more times. So if you're finding it an issue for the knees, don't go down so deep. So it's a refreshment to the process. That's partly why the water analogy is quite pleasant. It's kind of, how can I just refresh the body the strong body, the controlled body, centered body. How can I both slow things up, but also do that within movement? I'm not completely still, but I'm controlled, smooth movements. But make this your last part of this sequence. Arms out to the side. And let the feet rejoin to see if you're happy with bringing the feet as close as they comfortably can. My knees won't allow my feet to come completely together, but your knees might. And just see how it feels to have the legs coming together. So that's a kind of a bit more like a tree, like we've just got one support system through the bottom of the body. We haven't got two legs now, we've got one support through the feet, and again, big toe mound, little toe mound down, back of the heel, strength, power, support through the feet, giving that slight uplift and support through the belly, not so we're tight and we can't breathe, but just enough tone to feel that we can continue that lift through the front body, shoulders down and back. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, close your eyes, and suddenly that becomes kind of like a balance often. If you don't want to close your eyes, then just lower your gaze and let the gaze be kind of wide rather than focused, so that you're in a space which allows for a softening within stability. And allow if the body wants to float forward and back or around, to kind of find its space naturally, to find its natural balance, let it do that. If it's feeling really still and really stable, then just enjoy the stillness and the stability. Ensure that the crown of the head is still heading towards the sky if you can. So just, it's a feeling of whether I'm actually having that sense of a good supported posture rather than the visual image always deciding whether you are or not. How does it feel to have strong legs to be rooted to the ground? How does it feel to have a lightness in the upper body? How does it feel to soften around the shoulders and release? How does it feel to soften the breath in stillness? So half a dozen breaths. It can be slightly deeper, they can be just natural breaths. You feel what might support you in this balance, just through closing the eyes. So in the last few breaths, just take both hands to the navel, to the belly, and just reconnect with that sense of the center, which might be just a movement of the breath, might be a deeper sense of that energy in the body. It might be a sense of power that we have kind of at least touched on through the strength work, the breath work. And just see how that connection of the hands on the center of the body, the center of gravity, center of support feels. And just taking one more breath here. Flickering the eyes, open, they're closed. And just separate the feet. And let's shake out to finish. So let the shake out be soft. So let the wrists, let the hands, let the knees just soften, let the shoulders soften, let the cheeks soften, let the jaw, the eyes soften through movement just for a moment. Maybe take out a few sighs if that feels the right thing to do, to just really loosen here. Taking the light in your room, in your space, the space around you, the blue sky. nice evening. And then slow that up, slow that up, slow that up. Feel the energy, feel the energy, feel the buzz. And I'll leave you with that. So thank you, small group. And hopefully you picked up something. Some things may not make sense to your body. Hopefully body's okay. So have a lovely evening. And it's nice to be with you all. Okay, so see you next week for more power. Hope the knee's okay first.